We are here with Sadie Robertson Huff, who's co-host of the K-Loves, and she's up for Podcast of the Year. Whoa, that's good. I love that name. I love that podcast. I've listened to that when I've mowed my lawn before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
When you made the coaster with your husband,
Yeah.
really good stuff. Really good.
That's right here, actually.
What advice would you give Christians in today's world who are living in a world that's growing farther and further from Christ?
Yeah, I mean, the best piece of advice I have is what Jesus said to us, that we are called to be the light of the world. We're called to be a city on a hill, not to dim our lights and hide under the stand, but actually shine them so that God gets the glory. So I think it's really tempting when the world gets darker to want to hide. But if you want the world to be brighter, you're literally called to be the light. We are the solution as the church. And so, yeah, take on Jesus' words.
You back in February, you were talking about on your social media how the world is more anxious now than it was when you were growing up. How it's not as casual. What do you think has changed? What has led to that change during your lifetime?
Well, I mean, obviously there's been a lot of changes in our world. I mean, we've had a global pandemic. We've had some really hard things that we've had to overcome and walk through. But I think also just social media, being on social media every day, getting the news app on your phone, you see the weight of the world. And so that's a heavy burden to carry that I don't think anyone was meant to carry. So, as Jesus says, cast your anxieties on him. And that is something that each of us are going to have to do daily to receive that grace and that strength from God to get through. But man, God's so good, and his presence in your life can truly get you through those hard times. But we're living in a really dark time.
Have they made any changes in your life, or do you make recommendations to maybe your listeners on how to change their their social media habits?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're in control. Your social media, the beauty of it is it's your page. You get to decide what you post. You decide what you look at. And so I think you have to take ownership and say, okay, I'm going to follow the people who are leading me to Christ, and I'm going to post the things that lead others to Christ as well.
Thanks so much, Sadie.
Thank you.